everybody. Welcome to another Tea Time with Barry and Larry. It's the only tea channel that's hosted by two guys who fake their own death off the coast of Ibiza to avoid taxes. Hi, everybody. I'm guest hosting. My name is Owen, and we'll see if I'm live here in a second. Today, we're going to talk about some really fun stuff. All right, I think we're live. We'll do it live! Hi, everybody. Let's see if we're live. 1 second. What up, BB? Okay, here we go. So today we're going to talk about how billionaire robot people are now copying the Big Bear. What else we got? We have my favorite sketch / commercial I've ever seen in my life by far. Like nothing comes close to it. We got some mail and the nonsense rises. Where the hell are Barry and Larry? Who the hell are you, says Base Gardner. Barry and Larry are in a world of trouble. We'll talk about them another time. All right. Hello, Rowda. Yeah. What's up, Bears? Hi, Rebecca Bear. Hi, Campfire Bear. Hi, everybody. 2 Acre ND Bear. Everything's looking great. Okay, first off, as you guys come in, let's just watch the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is, guys, the only reason I even found this is because the two characters' names are Barry and Larry. And so YouTube recommended it. And I don't know why I watched it, but I've watched it about 50 times.
You know what? They'd already started repairs, so we couldn't even take it anywhere else.
That's shit the way they do that.
Tell me about it. 2.5 grand later, and then... Hey, what's going on?
It's mine, Daddy. Noah keeps taking away from me.
Noah, give it back.
No.
Noah, give it back.
No.
I said give it back now. Noah! Larry, what the hell are you doing? Larry, you can't just... Oh, Larry. Larry!
Righto. What's going on here?
Oh, sir, I'm arrested.
The most cathartic thing I've ever seen in my life. I love how Larry slaps the Asian guy with the glass. Yeah, why is this so funny? Because it just taps into the subconscious that every nonsensical thing should just be slapped. Like right now, the average person is surrounded by so many absolute nonsense people that you're not allowed to do that in society, which is a good thing, I guess. But you just want to constantly slap everybody. And it's not just me. This is like, everybody knows the slap. Like I was sending this to people and they're like, oh, the slap. I guess this was like a phenomenon. Like this got shared like millions of times. Everything about that sketch makes me laugh. Is it like his double slap? And when he does the 2 slaps on the kids, you can tell he almost is going to laugh. And so that's why he's doing that like extra intense face. Put on the mask, slap. Larry, it's just great. All right. So that was that. I know I always say this and I don't do it, but I'm probably not going to do a very long stream today. I got a lot to do when it comes to we're building up Ursa Rio, getting everything in place for when people come and help us build. It's a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is me and George in the grocery store yesterday. I just thought this was funny. Where do you want to head to now, George? Gotta get some acai berries? There was such a good energy in the grocery store yesterday. And George was in the cart. And I was going through the line. And everybody was talking about George. Little kids were like petting him. Great energy. And then, of course, one dildo who was working there was like, you can't have your dog in the cart. And he had on his like dental hygienist mask like they all do. Not at some of the stores. Some of the stores, like, none of the employees wear anything, obviously, because it's Idaho and they're not insane. But what was I gonna say? And so he's like, and I was in such a good mood that I didn't even. Hang on a second, sorry. Remind me tomorrow. Stop popping up. I normally would have been kind of confrontational, but like lately I've been in such a good mood that I don't know, I handled it in a funny way. Like, you can really deflect anything. The guy was like, "Oh, you have to take your the dog isn't allowed in the cart." And I didn't respond, and then he said it again, and I was like, "You hear that, Georgie? We're going to have to take care of that, aren't we, big guy?" And then they just stopped talking. Like, yeah, he should be slapped. Yeah, exactly. Normally I'd be like, "Oh, is that another one of Dr. Fauci's rules?" And then everybody in the line would have laughed because nobody was wearing a mask. We're all just completely sick of the nonsense. So you got this hippie, this baby boomer hippie with a ponytail. Can't make this up. Gray hair. And he's wearing his dental hygienist mask at a grocery store because he's just retarded. And he's like, "Yeah, you can't have a dog in the cart." And so I was like, all right, you know, the first thing what did I say first? It was because the only reason George was in the cart is because he gets really nervous on shiny floors. Because he doesn't like seeing his own reflection on the floor, like freaks him out. And so to have like a Great Pyrenees, like a little nervous isn't good. So I threw him in the cart. He loves it. He cruises around. And so the guy was like, "Yeah, you can't have your dog in the cart." And I could have done a few comebacks. One was, does he also have to wear one of those gay dentist masks? You hear that, George? You got to put a mask over your face like this gay baby boomer. But I didn't, because there was no need. I'm just like, the cement is hard. And like when the mask stuff first started, I was constantly standing up against it. Like if someone said, "Wear your mask," my go-to line was, "Masks are for criminals and perverts. Which one are you, lady?" And then I had some other really good ones. But that time is over. If at this point you're still dressing up like a dental hygienist in public, I mean, I just see you as an insane person. So I'm just like, "Hey, thanks for the tip." Amy had the funniest one I've ever heard. A woman was like, just under her breath, because this is how women are. They're passive aggressive, and a lot of men. Is grabber men especially. She was with our three children alone. And in the grocery store, a woman was like, "Where's your mask?" And Amy just goes, "Shut up." Agreed, BB. The metaphorical Rubicon has been crossed. Yeah, the cement is hardened. Dental hygienist in public. Oh, yeah. I'm like, are you about to clean someone's teeth? Why are you wearing a dental hygienist mask? Are you about to do, like, tooth surgery on a guy with, like, herpes? Yeah, Amy's was the funniest. She just as softly. Like, it was like this troll. Just like, "With your mask." This woman. And Amy just goes, "Shut up." Or she said it. She didn't even have any spin on the ball. She was just like, "Shut up." And the woman just shut up. So, yeah, I think, like, just skating over it is the way to go now. Confrontation is so 2020 or 2019, or when did it first start? 2020? Now it's just like, "Oh, thanks, man." It's like, "No, you got to take your dog out of the car." It's like, "You hear that, George? At some point, we're going to have to take care of that." And it's like, because then what if the baby boomer had kept with the dental hygienist mask, if he had kept going, that's when I would have been like, "Is that one of Dr. Fauci's new rules?" And I would have gotten huge laughs from the line. And he would have felt really stupid. Probably would have thought about suicide. But then he would have been like, "But if I kill myself, I can't masturbate." Jedi mind trick that guy. Yeah, because they don't know where to go with it. They're like, and I'm going to be like, "You hear that, George? We're going to have to." And then if he's like, "You're going to have to do it." "No, do it now." I'm like, I'm busy right now, though. "Do you want to do it? You can grab George if you want." "Hey, George, don't bite the baby boomer in the neck." And then another thing to do is just to go, and this is something I want to try at some point. I know this will happen. just with total sincerity, just be like, what are you going to do about it? Like, not mean, but just like, and I understand rules and order. Here's the other side. Like, I like people that follow the rules that help everybody, where it's like you go down the right way in the parking lot, you don't go down the wrong way. It's the nonsense rules. Like Ursa Rio, when we do have people camp, we're going to have a lot of rules, This is the only place you can have fire. You have to sign a release. We're going to have someone there. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. It's a whole thing. That's why I can't just have people go there. Like, it's not like, I donated, I'm here. No. It has to be very ordered, or else everything can just fall apart. The world needs order. That being said, when the orders are completely illegal and nonsensical, like for example, this whole private business thing, it's like, we're a private business, so we can make medical decisions for you. Could Auschwitz have done that? Oh, how dare you? It's not comparable. It's literally comparable. There's a lot of people in this country, in America, that feel, and it's their right to feel this way based on the information they've been given, that the vax is poison and deadly. A lot of people have had their babies and toddlers get injected by a vax, and within a day, they no longer make eye contact, can't speak, and many of them die. And then you really know that the V companies are up to no good when it's illegal to sue them. They don't even have any liability for any health effects that comes from the V. So when you're walking into Big Five, and forget about you can't tell someone under the United States law that they have to wear a mask when going someplace in public. So the Auschwitz comparison is 100%. It's like, could Auschwitz have said, we're a private camp? We can do what we want here. Oh, it's not comparable. It's literally comparable. Of course you can't. You have to follow, the country's laws. And so when you go into these places and they're like, you can't do that, but you got to do that. You got to wear the mask, but you can't have the dog in the cart. It's like, it's one thing if they just say no dogs, but they don't because they're crazy. So they say, oh, you can have a dog, but you can't put the dog in the cart. Vax will make people infertile, I reckon. I'm not making any predictions on it because I have no idea. I'm not going to take it and no one's going to force me. One thing I will show you, though, is the script has flipped. Summer camp for Jewish boys plans to bar those with COVID vaccination, reports the New York Post. Yeah, you're going to see more and more of this because I think a lot of insurance companies aren't going to want the risk of that. Like we're looking at that with Ursa Rio, where this summer we're going to do some events. The people that have been like really vetted can camp, stuff like that. And if anyone has a problem with it, it's private land. It's always been private land. That's the whole point. It can't just be a free-for-all, obviously. And so we're going to take our time with it, cross our T's, dot our I's. And one thing that you see is insurance companies need you to comply in certain ways in order to get coverage. So, you always have to have someone there. You can't have fires during the, like right now, it's now already illegal. Well, in Idaho to have giant brush fires, like, up until May 10th, you can burn all your brush. Now you can't because it's too much of a threat to forest fires. So it's like, I understand, and I saw this coming, and I know that the division is the script flip I called months ago, where it's like, there's now going to be pressure that if you have been vaccinated, you're too much of a risk. Fire ban until May 15th, opposite New York. Interesting. Well, it's forest fires are a real thing. So it's like, if you want insurance, you can't have fires during this time or else the person would be liable, blah, 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 blah. Tightening that city news. Yeah. Medical service animals being allowed in stores with an argument I used in the beginning for medical mask exemptions. Yeah, totally. Well, that's the thing is we have a constitution, we have laws, we have government, and the government, ironically, protects you against corporate tyranny. You can't say it's a private business, so we get to rape people. Oh, how dare you? It's not comparable. I think there's millions of women in America, millions, who would rather be raped than injected with a vaccine. Not comparable. Some of the most strong anti-vax people are mothers of babies who have died. They called it sudden infant death syndrome. It's just a spell that when you had a perfectly healthy baby and it was injected with an experimental, syringe filled with mercury, aluminum, and fetus cells, and then they immediately died. Like, you don't need to do a scientific experiment, which requires a control group and an independent variable and double blinds and all that. You don't need that when you're making a decision in your life. You can say, I've seen correlations. I can't prove causation because I don't have 1,000 babies willing to die, but I can see that there's a correlation between like black clouds rolling in and then water falling on my face. I don't need a scientific experiment. I can be causal. I can say there's a correlation and it's my choice. And then they say, well, then you can't shop here. And you go, nope, you're operating in the United States with a business license. You can't reject people based on their medical decisions. That's against the Nuremberg Code. It's literally a war crime. And they say, well, we have to flatten the curve. It's like, no, you can't just make up the rules based on nonsense emergencies. You know, I believe that the COVID situation was like an enzyme that sped up the economic process of trying to create a feudal system in the world. And I think that we all have our God-given right of free will, logic, reason, and we can make decisions for ourselves. And they say, well, then you can't shop here. It's like, then you can't charge me taxes. If you're going to have a monopoly on a government, this is why I like taxes. I like it. I like forced taxes because that's the thing is when you force someone to pay taxes and you have a monopoly, you can't then say you no longer get the protections offered to you as a citizen of the United States of America. Well, if you no longer want to provide that protection that I pay for with taxes, then I don't have to pay taxes anymore. And to be honest, I could see myself taking that deal. Where it's like, if you don't want me, if you no longer charge me income tax, property tax, school tax, county tax, city tax, okay, then I no longer get protection at stores. With that added money that me and a lot of my friends would then be given, we can start competing against you. Oh, no, you have to pay if we're going to pay taxes, which I'm fine with, it's a protection racket. I am now protected under the Constitution and all the stuff that we get as citizens of the United States of America. I know it's a corporation. It still has governmental protections. And so I've never fought against taxes because I want to be able to walk into any grocery store, any shop, any mall, any school and say, no, you are the ones who have to follow the law, not me. Well, no, I follow the law by not wearing a mask. You can't have terms and conditions go over the government. It goes man, government, corporation. That's the hierarchy. God, man, government, corporation. Not corporation, government, man. God on the bottom. That's not the point. I wouldn't force taxes because just have everyone use Bitcoin and you get protection. BB blew my mind when you pointed out the post office and libraries were free speech zones compared to private venues. Private venues are tyranny. And because they want it both ways, they're not playing fair. If you say you can't have private freedom with a central bank. You can't have a publicly traded company that gets tax money, that gets our money, that gets our kids' money, and then pretend to be private. If you want to be private, be private. If you want to be public, be public. You can't have it both ways. If you're going to extract wealth from us and our children and our children's children based on printing money, quantitative easing, all this stuff, great. Well, you have to follow the law now. And there's absolutely no law, nor will there ever be a law, that says a human being, a sovereign man, has to inject himself with something he doesn't want to in order to buy groceries. That isn't America. And you can't have it both ways. That's why I'm fine with taxes. because taxes are a protection against the corporate tyranny, which is being attempted. And so that's the thing. And there is no enforcement. The enforcement is us. The enforcement is the government. The United States is filled with so many warrior type men that our value on the world stage, our value to the central bank is we are the enforcement wing of the bank. So when they have an asset, you send in the Marines, the Navy, the Army, right. And so the enforcement wing is the police, the FBI, all this stuff. And they're not bad. They work for you. The spellcraft, the illusion, even the CIA, for all the sketchy stuff that they've done, it's like, do you want a replacement? Do you want another group, a foreign group, a group that isn't even Americans? You don't even know, like, so many of these spellcrafts are done to make people turn. It's to make the parasite kill the host, or it's to make the host turn on himself. So when you say, oh, the FBI, the CIA, the cops, the taxes, it's like that's you're turning on yourself. I got to see this way ahead of schedule. When I tried to go private, I was borderline anarcho-capitalist at the time. I was kicked out of Hollywood for my political beliefs and religious belief, like growing religious beliefs. And I turned to the free market. I said, well, I can pay $3,000-$4,000 to rent out a venue. I can sell my own tickets on private company. I've broken no law and everything will be fine. Well, it turns out that without question, every single theater either canceled me last minute, wouldn't accept my money, or the next time I tried to go, they said that their board has spoken and they no longer want me there. A comedian, free market. And in some of them, it's like, hey, well, it's about branding it. Some of them had like Chip and Dale dancers the next week. Some of them it was completely not free. And so then I'm like, well, people can buy tickets on PayPal, this private company. No. I'm not allowed on PayPal. They didn't want my money at all. They're not motivated by money. They get free money from a central bank. It's a communist global dictatorship we're in right now. We have been since 1913. And so the good news is, this isn't depressing. The good news is there's no enforcement. You know, there just isn't. They only can comply. It's almost like Amazon. Amazon is like the biggest company in the world. And I don't know if it's the biggest company in the world. Don't quote me on that. It's probably top 10. But it's this megalith, this powerhouse. It's all fragile. It all floats on the United States government's ability to have mail. It's all on these like tiny margins. And it's like the buying and selling of private businesses based on the ability to ship stuff based on the government. It's a government business. And so if there was a breakdown of any of the supply chains, Amazon would be destroyed. Amazon, a Mason coincidence. Well, I could explain to you the Freemasons and what that is now if you want. Or I can just, I was going to do a shorter one. I'm not going to get into Freemasonry. All right, let's just keep going. All right, so this is really funny. Watch this. Someone said I'm going to send this to all my libertarian friends. Yeah, they're so wrong, and it's objectively wrong. They're trying to destroy their only protections against what's coming, which is already here. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can figure it out no matter what happens. Even if everything scary happens, you can still just like adapt and overcome and all that stuff. I'm not saying that, but it's absolutely insane to think that like HIPAA laws and all this stuff are not protecting you. And so imagine a world where any terms and conditions of any company with their boards of directors, their stock options, their free money, their quantitative easing, all that stuff, that they don't have, that they can still charge you 50% of your income in taxes, land taxes, all that, but you don't get any protection from that money. That's pure slavery. Not even close to not slavery. It's like the one thing that taxes give you is the protection against pure unadulterated slavery. And you know, people can't even fathom it because they haven't been through the looking glass like I have. Like, free market does not. Imagine if you are playing Monopoly against somebody and the other person just keeps getting free money from the bank. Can you ever win? No. And they go, oh, well, then you got to get better at Monopoly. It's like you were about to lose and then you just got free money from that bank. It's like, well, I mean, we needed to, it's too big to fail. It's quantitative easing. Like we needed extra money. It's like, you can't have it both ways. If you want to actually compete, you got to let these big companies fall. All of the airlines should have fallen. All the banks, all the tech firms, all of it. They've already fallen like 80 times. So then because of their power and the corruption, they get free money that lowers. That's why keeping money is not a good idea, because your money is always worth less the second after you get it. It just tick, tick, tick. It's just going right down. It's because of this money supply. It just keeps being printed. So it's not a fair game. There's never, ever, ever been a free market in America, not since 1913. Like, it just isn't. So when people say, oh, then you got to be funnier. I'm way funnier than everybody on Netflix. I haven't laughed. Way to go. That's pretty scientific stuff there, pal. Because you, a narcissistic psychopath with a financial interest to not laugh, has not laughed, therefore I'm not funnier than people on Netflix. It's tragic. Like, watching Netflix comedy, I mean, I'd rather watch Schindler's List is objectively funnier. They're trying to hurt me. Schindler's List is objectively a funnier comedy than any special right now on Netflix. All right, let's continue. And so, but the good news is, this isn't a black pill or anything. The good news is, when you play in a rigged game, no one wants to play with you anymore. What happens every time, like, there's that kid who starts because his dad's the coach and he sucks and they just keep losing? What happens? Kids stop playing. And what does that mean? It means people stop playing their game. I've stopped as much as I can. I have no interest. I've had like little bites from Hollywood and little bites from all these places where they're like, hey, you're doing really good, big. I'm not playing their game anymore. I don't want their money. I don't want to go on tour. I don't want any of that stuff. Their game is done to me. It's a dead game. I don't want to pretend that there's a free market. I don't want to pretend that merit is rewarded on Netflix, whose board consists of Susan Rice and like a bunch of Sigmund Freud's relatives. Like, that's crazy. And so that's the real threat to a lot of these quote unquote elites. They're not elite. They're really dark. You know, I've been listening to this dude, this economist Grabler out of Israel, who talks a lot about narcissism and all that. I'm not recommending him because he's very, very smart, but his entire world is nonsense. Like, every one of his premises is nonsense. And they all think that life is like hellish and dark and gross. And if you're not honest about the horror of the pandemic, then you're just living in a fantasy world and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, they really think this. They wake up in the morning, just like that line in Princess Bride, life is pain. And anyone who says different is trying to sell you something. No, it isn't. Life is not pain. Life can be painful. Life can have loss. But life is very beautiful, and you should be very grateful for your life. It's a great experience. So when they're in this world of the secular managerial class where they fall for every spell, their eyes deceive them, even though they can't name one person that isn't fat and old that died of corona, they're now restructuring all the cities and restructuring money and it's like, dude, life is not pain. And it's like, so when people don't want to play their game anymore, when nobody wants to wave the red, white, and blue on a battlefield, protecting poppies for a bank, it starts hitting them that's why they have to start. Oh, this is going to be a good insight for you guys. The reason that they're doing all of this PC, woke stuff where it's like we need more women in the military, we need gays in the military, we need blind people at the CIA and stuff. It's because a lot of people they don't want to do it anymore. And I'm one of the only truthers I know that does not have a hatred for the CIA or the FBI or police or anything. It's like there's corruption in every institution, but like, what's the alternative? So if you are like, listen, the CIA has done some nasty stuff, they're covert, they do spy stuff, we got to get rid of it, right? Great. So what's the next one then? Mossad? And then what's the one after that? Like, you're going to have spying. Do you want your spies to have the ethos of America? Of like, at least they believe in basic rights? Oh, they shot a guy in Egypt. You don't even know any of that shit. It's like, I never thought of that. Great insight. Yeah. So anyway, the reason they're doing all this is because the strong people don't want to do it anymore. When the military was heterosexual, mostly Caucasian with exceptional blacks, Hispanics, stuff like that, the ones that really believed in America, really were physical specimens, it was great. Then slowly, it was really, really strong. And then slowly, people didn't want to play anymore. It started in Vietnam. I think the seeds were planted in World War II when people came home and they're like, I don't think that was what we thought it was. World War I, after World War I, there was a big isolationist push. We didn't want to fight in foreign wars anymore, but people didn't know the truth. Like, people still believed their government. They believed, like, why would anyone lie? Lusitania. Vietnam was the first time when the media, everybody was starting to talk about how this was a rich man's war, and that they were using a lot of blacks and a lot of poor people. That they were saying, "Oh, your birthday is this. You got to go fight a rice farmer in Vietnam." And Muhammad Ali famously said, "No Vietnamese ever called me a nigga." And that, one of the classic Grabler fantasy spells is that white people are causing wealth disparity in inner cities. That because it's classic cause and effect error. So the effect is a lot of poor people, poor blacks in cities. So then, because they're black, that means it's the whites doing it. No, there's a lot of poor black people in our cities because the implosion of, it started in the Civil War and kept going through the civil rights movement, quote unquote, and the implosion of Detroit, the implosion of a lot of the factories in the cities, the constant uprooted nature of the migrant work, the black sharecropper, the migrant worker. Okay. So to say people with white skin are the cause just because the effect is there's more poor black people is not science. It's not logical. It's nonsensical. And a lot of blacks are seeing, a lot of people can see through it now because they've gone so far and it's so desperate. So in the Vietnam era, you'd still have your like strong, Americana men that would go hard and they would kill for their country. Then they realized they weren't killing for their country. They're killing for a central bank. Over time, you got Operation Desert Shield, Operation Desert Storm, all this stuff. You got, all this propaganda. And the movie Hunger Games was written by the woman because she was watching the invasion of Kuwait. And she was going back and forth between the Biggest Loser, this eating competition game, and a televised war. This is where the Hunger Games came from. And they just kept going back and forth. And she was like, wow, entertainment will become war. And that's where the seeds were planted for the writing of the Hunger Games. And so, the Hunger Games. And so anyway, over time, they lost that. A lot of the best men now want nothing to do with the military. They want nothing to do with these games and tricks. And so they're running out of bodies. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to increase technology so that they can replace humans with like robots and drones and all that stuff. It's not going well. The media will never tell you it's not going well because why would they? It goes against their self-interest. Why would social media or mainstream legacy media, why would any of them tell you anything against them? Why would a bank robber tell a cop they just robbed a bank? It's nonsense. So they have all these like Boston mechanics and all these companies trying desperately to make like robot dogs and all this stuff. They're not working. You can be one of these dystopian psychos. It's been like this my entire life. They've always RoboCop, all this stuff. They've been trying to push this forever. So what they can make is a panopticon where everybody feels like they're being watched. They're not really being watched. They don't have the manpower. People didn't have enough kids, and too many people are whacking off to pornos. All right, so you enter Joe Rogan. You enter these people that say, the stuff they're not showing us is the real tech. No, it isn't. They're trying to create an illusion that you're replaceable. It's classic sales techniques. It's fractal. You can apply it to a guy trying to get a girl at a bar or the global bank trying to impose tyranny. They say, oh, underneath the cities are biological CRISPR technology. They can make super warriors and robot dogs. Show me. Show me a functioning satellite. They've shown me the moon landing. They said that something as thin as tinfoil went into a vacuum and didn't implode. You could put a tank into a vacuum sealed chamber and start taking away the atmosphere, barely take away the atmosphere, and it would completely just start getting crushed. You're telling me that a LEM that you can poke your finger through, made basically out of construction paper, entered a vacuum. It would have been ripped on an atomic level. Okay, so people just believed it because it's easier to believe. Let me set the stage, and I understand why they did this about the moon landing, because in 1969, you had the assassination, right in a row, you had JFK, you had Bobby, you had Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Watts riots. The nation was ripping itself apart because the monetary system, it all starts with the monetary system, is collapsing. Vietnam is being televised for what it actually was. You can call them like dirty liberals. We got to beat the commies. No. Two wings of the same bird. I'm glad war was revealed for what it is. We had no business being in Vietnam killing rice farmers and homesteaders. It's ridiculous. So they give the dream to the people. This is why a lot of people can't let go of that dream, because it got America past a time when it could have ripped itself to pieces. We landed on the moon. It allowed the government to increase taxes, to increase control, to create a secular worldview where God can't hear your prayers because that's a vacuum. We're spinning in endless space. Look at what the new Trinity, the new three astronauts. You know, it's a new religion. Okay, so now that lie has to be fed forever, or else it falls apart. And then they just keep putting on lie after lie after lie. We are now to this point. Guys, we are now to this point. This is CNBC. SpaceX, fake, accepts Dogecoin, fake, as payment to launch mission to the moon next year, which will not happen. This is the result. SpaceX, a fraudulent company that has never accomplished anything, it's aside for an operating system, a delusion, an illusion, will accept Dogecoin, which is a joke. It started as literally a joke. And when people say, oh, you could have gotten rich on it, it's like you're being humiliated. What does rich mean? I might be nice. Billionaires are some of the most puppeted slaves, serfs I've ever seen. Elon Musk doesn't have free will. So a fake mockery of money will be accepted to not go to the moon by a company that is incapable of going to the moon. That's where this goes. Where do you think it keeps going? This is the Tower of Babel. That's all it is. Every brick requires all this energy. There is no robots. There is no, Made by Jim Bob was talking about that today, where it's like, even the Internet of Things is nonsense. It's like, they're saying that we're going to be like, there's going to be drones. I've never seen a drone in the air that's delivered an Amazon package or spied on it. It's 2021. The truthers in 2015 were acting like right around the corner is the robot apocalypse. It's not happening. The apocalypse is the lies. It's the illusion. It's people are telling me about biological weapons. Oh, the COVID, we now see what China's really capable of. What? Capable of what? Creating a mass delusion like a witch trial, basically, to make people believe something's real that isn't. until it becomes real based on their actions, then they're too humiliated and too ashamed to admit they were tricked. The 9/11 magic trick, the space magic trick, the school shooting magic trick. Oh, you got to be real scared. Why do they need everyone scared all the time? Because they don't have enforcement. There's no enforcement. The CIA is not spying on you. Oh, how dare you? Snowden was an op. It's an op. It's all magic tricks. Oh, I saw the rabbit come out of the hat. Is it possible for them, quote unquote, to be able to listen to you through a phone? Sure, yeah. It's a grain of sand on a beach for all the people they'd be listening to. Can they collect metadata, blah, blah? Sure. Are they doing that? No, because it requires a goal, a purpose. We're witnessing entropy. It's a breakdown of order, not the other way around. When you see the rainbow flags on the fighter jets and the women trying to accomplish, trying to be like Navy SEALs and all this, you're not looking at strength. You're looking at desperate people. I did this example years ago, not years, maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago, because I was coming out of the Jewish spell, where I understand why a lot of them operate the way they do. They're not just bent on hurting the goyim and like humiliating you. Imagine this is what a lot of Jews do, quote unquote Jews, alleged, not the tribe of David, but they're managers and they're promoters, they're marketing experts. So let's say, apply it to your life. This was the fractal teaching ability of Jesus could do this. So forget the big picture. Think your life. So a promoter at a nightclub, let's say he's paid on every head that comes in the door. And for a while, he's getting celebrities. He's getting all these people. He's using false scarcity. You got the line. You're not allowed to go in. He's using celebrity endorsements. We have Calvin Harris is DJing one night. You have all these promotions, it's everything that you're witnessing right now. Okay, as the people stop going, I'm convinced that people aren't desperately trying to become American anymore. I think it's a lie. I think maybe some, but not like it used to be. Because I think the world's population is declining. My friend in Costa Rica says they're averaging like one kid a family. It's like crazy. So anyway, so what do? They go to the next tier because they're paid by each person coming in. They don't care which person. Their agenda, their motivation is very simple. So it's like, okay, for every 100 people, let's say they get $100 a head to come in because the club believes that every person is going to spend on average $200. The promoter gets $100 a head, blah, blah, blah. So it starts off great, brings in 1,000 people, $100 a head, he gets $100,000. Now the next week, it's 800 people. So he's got 80 grand and he's like a little worried. And then 60,000 the week after. And he's starting to see a trend. But so he's paid by the head. So what does he do? He goes to the next tier of quality of human being. Facebook operated exactly like this. And by the way, before I finish this, you might want to listen to me because Zuckerberg's now copying me. He now has goats on a farm. Zuckerberg's proud of his goats on his farm. They're copying the bear. Now, I did not invent goat farming, but I was one of the first people that chose it, not out of desperation. Anyway, so the way Facebook operated as a Ponzi scheme of information and clout is it started at Harvard, the elites, the people everyone wants to be. Yale was like, can we get involved? And Princeton, they're like, easy, buddy. False scarcity, envy, jealousy, sloth, lust, all of it. So they wanted sexy girls and really elitist men. Slowly, they started opening up to other colleges based on their status. It finally got to like the state school scumbags, and they were like, oh, I'm on Facebook now, right? And then it had developed this pyramidal structure where then everybody wanted to be in that. I never did, by the way, but that's how it worked. I hung on to MySpace till the bitter end, and I was right. Anyway, so the Ponzi scheme of a nightclub works exactly the same. A military, a bank, a currency, all of it. That's why the grabblers right now, who are simply managerial marketing scammers, yes, they're puppeted by Satan, like a lot of them are, but it's the demonic forces that are their appetites, their sexual degeneracy, their narcissism, their wanting their name to be, am I a good mama? Okay, they're not a threat to you. And so synthetic goats to compete against, but right. Zuckerberg knows the future isn't in robots. He got actual goats on a farm. Guys, I saw this years ago and people are seeing it. So just trust me on this. All the stuff that Joe Rogan is pushing to make everybody, oh, transhumanism, you're going to be able to fly and you're going to be able to, no. The only technology that's increasing is illusionary technology. SpaceX accepts Dogecoin to go to the moon. That's a broken view of the world. A non-broken view of the world is what Zuckerberg is attempting to do. Okay. Is he doing a code that is max Bitcoin? I don't care. The fucker got goats. He knows. Like if they want to like alert each other like in SNL every time Elon Musk said Dogecoin, it dropped. Like when DMX died, who famously sang a song about dogs, like Dogcoin shot up the next day. Like, is there like weird signals that people give each other to make money on nothing? Sure, it's nonsense. It's a piston sandbox. You have Yellowstone Park to play with, and you're like trying to get in a sandbox. So anyway, this club, every tier they go down. Okay, last week we had Brad and Angelina, and everybody was so jealous. We had Us Weekly taking pictures. Everyone wants to get in this club. And so then the marketing strategy is don't let in the scumbags, but every now and then let in some scumbags so that you can just make more money. They want people, but they need the illusion that vodka tastes any different than the vodka you buy at 7-Eleven or whatever the hell you get vodka. That sitting next to Brad Pitt is any better than sitting next to some asshole. That's the illusion. Brad Pitt is just a gay guy. So every time they unfold another level, they make more money, but they lose their brand. And it just keeps unfolding until I'm sure Planet Fitness started with like ripped, healthy people. And now it's like a scam to get fat people to pay $10 a month and not go anywhere. All right. You understand? America as a whole, as a population has done this. You know, only let in the Italians and the Irish. Meanwhile, all the Anglos are like, they're disgusting monkeys. And then so they let them in, made the money on the head count. Then, now that those people are white, quote unquote, white does not exist, ethnicity exists, race is a bit of a lie. So now that the dirty Irish and Italians are seen as quote unquote white, the next rung is let in. Oh, we can let in the Mexicans. And they're like, oh, a bunch of dirty monkeys, all this stuff, right? Okay, so then they're making all this money on a head count because they're given money from the Treasury based on the population. It's a nightclub scam. Now that the Mexicans are here, they're like, well, we're going to let in the Guatemalans. And the Mexicans are like, no, not the dirty Guatemalans. We kept them away from Mexico. We built a wall in the South. And everyone's like, welcome to America. You're now white, Hispanic. And meanwhile, go way back to like, you know, the Bill the Butcher Anglo. And they're like, what is this? Everyone's brown. And the Irish are like, we know. And they're like, you're a monkey too. So it's the same with Facebook. So all the Harvard people that they let in, the scumbags at Yale and Princeton, they're like, not those grabblers. And then by the time they get to like SUNY Oswego, they're like suicidal. And now it's like anybody can get on Facebook except because then it inverts. The whole thing flips upside down. So now that the pyramid has become like this, it becomes a dreidel and you got to spin it in order to keep it up. So now they keep everyone off Facebook that's interesting. You used to go to Facebook to get the best funny memes, the truther stuff. Facebook was big in the truther community until it started cracking down. Now all the scumbags, low IQ, low morality, just losers, envious, spiteful fuckers. This is why I don't blame the Jews or anything for any of this shit. Because they're just going off head count. They're doing Ponzi scheme after Ponzi scheme. And if you can recognize it, it's not even personal. So the Zuckerberg and all the grabblers, they're like, they wanted it elitist and truther and all this, and as those stuff people came in, by the time you now have all these like Karen retards, and they're like, oh my God, I'm offended. It's because they had to they floodgated it. And so now it's inverted where all the elite types are seen as bad. It's the same with the military. Like really, really good athletes in the SEALs now are seen as a threat to the women, where the women are like, oh, how dare you, right? So now it's like an hourglass where it just flips. It just keeps flipping. Now it's like you're kicked out of Facebook if you're doing truther stuff, funny stuff, interesting, smart stuff, because the overwhelming majority of Facebook are clamoring, troll-like, low IQ retards, like mouth-breathing retard, like literally retarded people. Like, read the math. They're the ones reporting. And now the head of Facebook has to appeal to these people because they're his base. I don't think Zuckerberg shows any of this. That's why the love of money is the root of all evil. So it's like, now that he has a public stock, a board of directors, all this stuff, how's he supposed to be like, half of our user base is offended by the world? So what do? You just lower the grade. It's like, it's like every brand ever. It starts awesome, and then the more you let people in, the more you take outside funding, the more you are getting paid by the head count, not by the quality. By the end, the scumbags are running it. Harvard, Princeton, Yale, these places are terrible institutions now. Because before, you kept out the scumbags, the Irish, the Italians, and then the Jews. And then you start letting in some Jews. And then before you know it, the Jews are thinking very banking, where they're like, the more people, the better, more money or whatever. And so then, because the Anglos always thought like land titles. They're like, well, who's your nephew? Very. And so that starts watering it down. And now it's like if a trans bike thief, like with one arm who can't stop whacking off, like that's now good because it's not threatening to the envious scum that you've let in. And this also happened because the internet took away the need to go to college at all. Idiocracy, LOL. Yeah, but I don't see that. That's why you have to break off into your own nations in a way. Not nation states. We're not competing with the United States. I like the United States. I want the CIA to clean themselves up a bit. I want to get back to those tall, white, Anglo males spying and scheming. Because you don't know what your threats are. I mean, listen, I'm into it. If they need to listen to me as I'm ranting about scumbags, it's like, let them get a laugh. Because it's getting to the point where, I mean, look at the news. SpaceX accepts Dogecoin as payment to go to the moon. No one's been to the moon in 60 years because the technology was only about illusion. God bless Don Pettit. He was right about all that. He said, we don't have the technology anymore. He's right. The technology has nothing to do with physically moving a human body anywhere. The technology is about illusion. Before, they had such a trusting population and such a monopoly on information. They're never going to tell you that they lost, guys. They lost the monopoly. The internet broke it. And so it's like, yeah, the internet can be a tool for evil and a tool for good. I don't want to get into it right now. But Don Pettit was right. He said, we had the technology to go to the moon, but we don't have, we could go back in a nanosecond. No, he's saying we could go back, go back. Literally, that's what it means. He's saying, like, back then we had the technology to convince people we went to the moon, and we don't have that anymore. Because the world was very trusting, and everybody only had one channel on one TV. Guys, like, now, like with the internet and with everything, they would just annihilate everything and show that it's not possible because the devil's always in the details. BB, we went to the moon. You need a power, right? But see, this is what's happening. So now the level of like scumbag, immoral, dumb, chaotic is rising exponentially. This is why you see, because the Anglo types in America, the cream of the crop, didn't have enough kids. Bottom line, they got sloppy, they got immoral, They wanted to pull out and spray it everywhere and not make a kid. So the promoters, the managers had to just keep bringing in more people to do the jobs. They don't have robots. They've done a lot, like dishwashers and shit like that, but like they don't have the ability to do what they claim. They don't. It's all lies. You know, when you're dealing in a economy based on futures, what will come, it just started becoming complete bullshit. My dad threatened me over the moon landing. God damn it, boy, I watched it on the TV when I was 10. Right? Because, guys, in his defense, in your retarded dad's defense, if they didn't believe it, their life was over as they knew it. Guys, it was like JFK, Bobby, MLK, Malcolm X, like America, and then the Vietnam War, you know, the hippies. Like, America was ripping itself apart. The riots. It's one reason why they bend over backwards to the blacks is because the blacks got fucked bad by the system. And don't get me wrong, I'll never stop making fun of bike thieves. I mean, here's an Unbearables Media. We're now going to start competing with Babylon Bee. They did another one of their little Israel things. So here's one. We can steal more bikes than black people, says white supremacist. You want to compete, Babylon Bee? Game on, bitch. You want to use comedy for your guidance system? Well, you just awoke a sleeping giant. And I do mean giant. I'm 6'8". That's mythical. No one likes making fun of bike thieves more than me. But in reality, and don't get me wrong, every group gets fucked by the system in some way if they take the ticket. But like Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, these things were all to just cripple these fucking people. And so then the theme is blame the whites, not the system. The blacks were starting to blame the system in the 60s. Malcolm X was like, I tried to be on the media, but the Jews, and they're like, bang, 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 bang. And they're like, ugh. So same with Martin Luther King Jr. was against Vietnam. Say what you will about that scumbag, total fucking pervert, homo, liar. I have a dream today that one day little black boys and little white girls and maybe a Puerto Rican watching and filming can get together. I have a dream today. Like, guys, wizardry doesn't begin to describe that piece of shit. But he started having an awakening. And he had been given too much power by the system. So they were like, no. Because Martin Luther King was like, why are we over in Vietnam killing the little slanty-eyed people when we should be having orgies in Birmingham? In Birmingham, I want the Vietnamese to slobber on my penis with a little white girl and a little black boy and a Puerto Rican with a camera today. I have a dream today. Bang, 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 right? Because there was an awakening happening in the 60s, and they were giving a lot of power to individuals, which is really, really scary for the system. Because, and in the system's defense, they'd all die. So it's like, there's ways of doing it. That's why the ways the Bears are doing it is the right way. You're not supposed to, like, if you're given that much celebrity power, they have to know that you're not going to go against a war that they require for their banking interests. You know, Martin Luther King Jr., that's why they were tormenting that one dude so bad, the war hero back in the 20s and 30s, the guy who flew across the Atlantic, they kidnapped his kid, killed his kid. Remember all that? Allegedly. Well, it's because him and Henry Ford were like, banking's bad. And they're like, what? And so, and the banking industry is just a promotional scam collectivizing the sins of the population. Yeah, Lindbergh, yeah. So now the system, and it's a brilliant system, it's a much better system than it was before, a lot less assassinations, is everybody in politics and everybody in Hollywood has to be vetted. And they're vetted based on their sins. And there's now a mechanism in place where if they go against the system, they're humiliated. Much better system, well done, Grab Wars. The problem with that is now our quote-unquote leaders, artists, all this stuff are shockingly low vibration. Because at this point, when you're dealing with lie on top of 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 lie, you get Joe Biden. I mean, as much as a lot of you guys love Trump, Trump's like a retard. Really, Giuliani? Count the ballots. You know, and he was shocking to the system. I do think he did shock the system a little bit. And don't root for the system to go down, by the way, unless you have a valid alternative, which you currently do not. I don't even, and I'm basically off grid running a homestead. So just understand that. So don't like root for the system to collapse. Be in the world, not of it, is the best advice this awesome guy once gave. So don't be of the world. Don't be competing in their world. Don't be in their guidance system, but be in it. You don't need to overthrow the world. You can't anyway. And if you did, everything would go to shit. So their guidance, like MLK, like people were waking up in the 60s. There was a massive awakening and they had to control it because they couldn't. Vietnam, guys, World War II was way worse than Vietnam. They just didn't have an awakening yet and they didn't have a way of showing people. Way more people died in World War II and they were like white and they were like rich. And it's like crazy. I'm not saying white rich people are better than Vietnamese farmers. Not at all. I'm just saying that if people had seen the footage of Germany and like Verdun and World War I and all that, like the stinking piles of all their like blue-eyed, bright-eyed, white skin, hopeful future men, they would have just freaked out. And so Vietnam was the first time when the mass public started realizing what the hell was going on in these wars. And same with the Civil War. It was a war of northern aggression. It was not to free the slaves. like that was a script that was created way after. So many men sacrificed. It's amazing but they didn't even sacrifice for anything. Their death did not lead to, man, I don't know. In the system, maybe they needed to kill off a ton of people. I don't know. Because the bankers, they're doing in their crazy, fallen, demonic world, it makes sense to them. They're like, we need to kill a ton of people in order for our management teams to, I don't know. World War II vets were tougher because they grew up in the Depression. Yeah, but it's like what they saw over there. It's like, and then Vietnam was the first time the country really saw it. Like the media was showing people. And I consider myself more right wing than left wing, even though I'm not on a wing anymore, because the organic movement, the breastfeeding movement, the anti-vax movement, those were all from the left. So just understand that. Like 20 years ago, it was all right-wing people saying, where's your herd immunity? Oh, breastfeeding's for perverts. You know, it's crazy. Granted, the quote-unquote left has gotten more demonic, in my opinion, but I think it's just because they have more power. But it's two wings of the same bird. Anyway, that's why they're trying to get female, like Down syndrome, one-armed people to be Navy SEALs because they're out of people. They're done. Anti-war was left too, yeah. And guys, like 80,000 of like Walters, Charlies, and Jacks died in Vietnam. And that's one reason why when you say stuff like that, there's a group of people that's like, shut the fuck up and enjoy your freedom. I'm like, you didn't give us freedom. Your appetites is why you had to fight these wars, because you needed free shit. Freedom only comes from God, which comes from not being a slave to your appetites. Don't fucking tell me that you gave us freedom by sacrificing your children in a foreign land. That's not how it works. You got your appetites filled. And so would you send your children right now to go fight in Vietnam, seeing what happened there and the point of it? Of course not. That's nuts. Then you saw the same thing in Afghanistan, less American death, but still. And then you're like, okay, fuck that. And then the biggest American thing, the biggest machine, which is the military, is now just grinding to a halt. Yeah, you never send your kids. You don't love your kids if you'd send them to Vietnam. Oh, it's fight for fucking freedom. What's the fruit of that tree? What, are those Vietnamese farmers really just, oh, the communism. The communism was the people doing the war. Looking back now with perspective, can you not now see that the ones financing any global wars is the Communist Party? That the Vietnamese that America were killing were the ones actually trying to stand up against the global bank. You see that now, right? You see that Germany was actually trying to not have a central bank. Before World War II, Germany did not have a central bank. After World War II, Germany had a central bank. Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, Iraq, Venezuela, Cuba, like the basic irony, like the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, all they do is defame people. All they do is literally talk shit about people. Fighting communism was creating communism. That's what it was. It was saying, and why is the central bank communism? As you're seeing it now emerge, when you have one group in charge of all the money in a monopoly game and they hand it out to the players that are complying and complimenting them the best. Oh, no, your nose isn't big. It's really nice. Really? You think I have a nice nose? Here you go. Here's some money. It's coming out of your fucking money with your little nose and your big dicks. Okay, all that does, the reason that there's never going to be a satanic global tyranny for long, maybe a day, is no one plays. Nobody plays. You just go, yeah, I'm not going to play with you anymore. Well, then I'm going to kill you. With what army? Our army of robots. Where's your robots? They're coming, we swear. Are they on the moon? The robots are on the moon. Okay, well, the more you see how it actually works, the more you're like, oh, you don't have anything. And communism happens when immoral people needed a management. Exactly. It still is our fault. Like, poison food comes when you don't grow your own food and someone's paid to keep you alive. They're not, I really don't believe it anymore that they're sitting around, unless their agenda is to weaken so there isn't uprisings or something, maybe, I don't know, keep population down. But it's like you're pushing the soil to its limit. And because of that, they're using chemicals, they're using all kinds of shit. And that's just the reality of it. So that's all I really want to talk about today. I got a little bit more for you. Like the right wing in America, the quote unquote mainstream right wing is done. Look at Ben Shapiro. Happy legally guardian of unspecified gender day. Guys, they're just parrots at this point. They're like, and then someone said, you guys have like one joke you tell over and over. And someone says, we have as many jokes as you have retarded genders. And someone says, this is the same joke again. You know, and I called it also that, you know, Dave Rubin's now endorsing Caitlyn Jenner. Steven Crowder's endorsing Caitlyn Jenner in an attempt to, quote unquote, own the libs. It's a mockery of itself. It's worse than the libs, in my opinion, because they're just gone. Because at least the left is creating. At least they're like coming up with nonsensical bullshit like legal guardian of unspecified gender day. Ben Shapiro literally just repeats it. Like, I called that ahead of schedule. I said, the Caitlyn Jenner thing going against the trans people in sports will make the right wing embrace Caitlyn Jenner in an attempt to own the libs. They all did, every fucking one of them. There is no right wing. There is an American government that you should support, in my opinion. Oh, how dare you? Freedom. Your constitutional protections are the only thing between you and fucking Ben Shapiro's sheet policies. If you don't get herd immunity and have the injection, you can't get the sheets. It's free market capitalism. You invented the money and you give each other the money. This isn't a fair game, Ben. If I started a sheet company where you didn't have to inject poison into your arm that kills kids, then you don't get any government money because then you're not complying with the health codes of the CDC. You can't have it both ways, Ben. That's still the government. That's still the government. You don't have, thank God, Bowen Branch doesn't have an army. Because you need a narrative to get a strong man like Gravy Seal Bear, SWAT Bear, all these guys that were in the military. To get them to kill another man on your behalf, they need a strong narrative. They need to feel they're fighting for their apple pie, baseball, and freedom. They need to feel that they're fighting for the next generation. To get the army of the unsullied to just kill no matter what you do is low-grade people. They die a lot. They don't follow orders. They overthrow their commanders. They don't really even exist. Psychopaths that are capable of killing are not controllable outside of addiction. You got to get them on crank and all, you know. Like, look at how you get the children's armies in Africa to kill for diamond companies and shit. It's like, you got to get them at 7, 8 years old, get them addicted to drugs, you know, like, because young people have less of a conscience. You get them hooked on hookers, all that. They all die. Like, they don't last. To get like the American military, which was the best military in the world, you need a strong national narrative. Proud to be an American. Freedom. You know, the best will survive. Everybody's given an opportunity here. If you fail, it's your fault. If you succeed, we're happy for you. That's the American dream. That is not happening anymore here. I mean, it still is. I mean, you just have to know how to do it. But like the mainstream, like everybody has an opportunity. It's like, really, even though all these businesses have been bailed out, they're frauds, they lie. They're like, it's a monopoly game where one guy gets access to the bank. So that dream is over for the masses, for the military to be like, well, you know, I'll be gone for 2 years, Timmy, but at least I'm fighting for heroin. It's like, no, that's why they need the desperate to do it. That's why they have homosexuals, transgender, blacks, gays, you know, there's some legendary blacks in the military, but it wasn't like seen as a plus. It wasn't like, we need more blacks in here. So the machine needs a narrative to allow them to recruit poor blacks in inner cities. So now they're saying, well, it's not, it's good we're doing it. It's good we're doing it. We're doing it for them. We're getting mercenary killers that are desperate because we're here to help the blacks. No. That's why they're trying to get transsexuals, pedophiles, perverts, blacks, Hispanics, women, fat women, dumb women, upside down women, wheelchair people. That's why they're trying to get dumb people in colleges, and they're saying, oh, we're trying to help them, you know, equality. No one's going to colleges. They're failing businesses. My parents were both professors. The attendance has been dropping since the 1980s. The price has skyrocketed ever since the government backed the loans. Obviously, the managerial class is just going to exploit that for free money. Why wouldn't they? It's in their nature. Now that there's the internet and people realize, even fucking Mark Zuckerberg realizes that getting goats is the move. Why would someone invest $300,000 for a degree that does not give you any advantage in any business in a time of this economic upheaval? Low risk. Nobody wants to take risks. They don't. So a college, scumbag state, New York, which is like, when I went, you know, I had like a 1360 or something SAT. I can't remember. It's in the 13s out of 16. You know, so I got a little scholarship for student athlete or whatever. And, but it was like, you know, I was smart, but it was like the average was like 1100. Now the average is 700. That's why they don't like objective tests, because it reveals the scam. So when people of my intellect now are at 18 go, college is a bad idea. I'm just going to become a plumber. More time with my kids, more of a useful skill, less debt. And they're like, oh, fuck. And so then they're like, well, who do we get? They're like, blacks. And so then, but now they need a narrative that you can't go to the inner city and say, hey, poor, desperate blacks, do you want to get in debt to us for money? They're going to be like, hell no, we're that motherfucking buck to steal. So no, they go, we're here to help give advantages to the blacks. And they go, nigga, I got my bag of crack. You know, they're miserable. And so then the blacks have been tapped. So where they go now? They go, well, now, want to know who's oppressed? People that believe they're unicorns and like to get banged in their ass in a wheelchair with a 500 IQ. Those are the future. And so then they wheel them into these schools. And so now what does the school teach? The very ideology that allows them to prey on weaker and weaker people in an upside down pyramid. So then they go, well, intersectionality and what's 2 plus 2? I think 2 plus 2 is 5, and I want to put a unicorn in my anus, and I'm trying to... Yeah, it's 5, right? Do you guys want to see the sketch me and Mountain Bear did, 3 years ago, explaining this? Unbearables Media, here we go, everybody. It explains everything, guys. There's no, like the right wing, quote unquote, going, so this is America, really? So non-specified gender. Why are they pandering to low grade, low vibration, sexual degenerates and racial minorities in poverty? Why would they do that? Because they're out of fucking money. The entire system is collapsing. Does that mean you should be scared? Of course not. It means you should be frothing at the mouth for all the opportunities that you will be seeing in the future. It's crazy, guys. Crazy, the opportunities. You won't even be able to fathom it. Because it's like, this is like Black Death type opportunity where it's like all this dead wood is burning so fast that if you simply don't accept the lies that Doggy Coin is going to get pay you to go to the moon, like if you get past that, these are the areas that like new billionaires are formed. And even like there might not even be that system of money. Guys, watch this. And so why would these people call me the racist? Not the ones in debt enslaving minority groups. Because I show what the reality is. I show what it really is. And the scam requires this. Watch this. This is every institution.
Nigga, I tell you right now, I've been thinking, you know, the Civil War was about slaverism. And so since the slaverism built everything I see today, shouldn't the whiteisms give me more money for crunk? Yeah, it checks out. That's real. Nigga, you don't know math. Nigga, math is racialist. Yeah. That checks out. You know, math is racialist. Nigga, I tell you right now that, nigga, I knew I was drinking crunk, and I got an F on my test because of racialism. Give him an A. Give him an A. Blame a white guy. Yeah, that's what me and my nigga T-Bone were talking. We deserve money from that white motherfucker because he ain't no nigga. That checks out. Does he have free money from the government? He's got 50 grand come. You're absolutely right, Tyrone. Racialism. We need reparations. But nigga, that don't mean it ain't gonna turn around. I gotta get my record contract. Crump. Nigga, you racist. Did the check clear, guys? I don't know how much more I can listen to of it. Is the check clear? Nigga, what you talk about? If Bin Laden was part of 9/11 and that Iraq is a country, that means we should go there for 25 years. Is the check cleared? Raytheon? Check cleared? That checks out, guys. Obviously, Owen Benjamin is a racist, bigot, homophobe, anti-Semite conspiracy theorist. Yeah!
Okay, so that's obviously true. And so am I bashing blacks? No. Really smart blacks, should they get to have the same opportunity as a really smart white? Obviously. Really athletic blacks that can kill really well, should they be allowed in the Navy SEALs? Of course. I still am operating with the American dream. And that's why I'm crushing so hard. That's why the bear, like I promote greatness. Mountain Bear is so fucking funny. I've been promoting him this whole time. The Upside Down Pyramid would want to ban Mountain Bear because he reveals the lie of SNL. He reveals the lie of Netflix and all this stuff. Because if you've never seen a cathedral, a box nonsense Obama library makes sense. You're like, wow, that's really impressive. They stacked all those bricks. When you see like the Cathedral of Cologne, you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then they're like, oh, David, no. So that's why the Upside Down hates good. Because good reveals the scam. So that's why it's like in the Middle East when I did shows there, there'd be like one chick for every like 10 guys, and they'd call them the Desert Rose. Because it was like, even like a fat lesbian, they'd be like, ooh, look at how fat and lesbian. You know, they'd be like really attracted to her, even though she's really unattractive. Because in that environment, women, there was no competition with women. So like, you know, these chiseled, ripped warrior guys that just, you know, every one of these like heifers would just get like as many like jack dudes as she could feast on. And it's the same with this. Like, if you don't know beautiful, like a big fat, like dying, seething, like disproportionate, asymmetrical woman is like, you're like, wow, I'm feeling something in my pantaloons, because that's the only one. But now if you have thousands of them and there's like real beauty, then you look at the heifer and you're like, you shouldn't eat so much sugar. And she's like, this is my DNA. And so it's the same with comedy. It's why they have to ban good, true, beautiful. They hate it because the good, the true, and the beautiful, logical coherence, pointing out logical inconsistencies, actual comedy, it reveals the scam. Because they go, why the fuck is Mountain Bear not on television? I have friends that write for Family Guy that make $1 million a year. And they're like retarded. And it's like, dude, Mountain Bear is so much funnier than Family Guy. Why won't? And then the truth becomes obvious because it's not about being funny anymore. It's about compliance. What happens when the one guy playing basketball gets to foul everybody and no one else gets to foul him? The game ends. The game, last will become first, first will become last. And I don't think Jesus was talking about dog coin. All right. If you want to support the stream, entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy, and I'll read what you say, for better or for worse. And of course, P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. What else do I got for you guys? Again, we will be competing with Babylon Bee. They've pushed it too far with their propaganda. We can steal more bikes than black people, says white supremacist. Another one we're going to do is we can own more porno companies than the Jews, says white supremacist. You understand how funny that is? Because, you know, if you're in the secular world, race doesn't matter. You have to appeal to higher metaphysics, where it's like, there is no best race or best this or best ethnicity if you're all appealing to the same thing. It's like, if someone's end goal is white skin and that's what makes them feel superior, they believe they should make more pornos than the Jew. It's hysterical. When you're appealing to a higher morality, let the chips fall where they may. If all your friends are white, that's fine. But it's like, you know, if you take quality, logos, morality, efficiency, humor, if you take anything over that, like it's like, yeah, but he doesn't have white skin, you're just going to become the whole thing's going to happen again. You have to appeal to a higher authority. All right, so God, give me the super chats. I don't think you haven't sent any. There's no way an hour and 22 minutes of pure unadulterated crushing gets no super chats, God. Is someone trying to hide from me? We can build more mosques than the Mohammedan. Yeah, but it's crazy how much more offended people are of mosques than Starbucks. Believe it or not, 0. There's been 0? Have we been kicked off Entropy? Normally by now there'd be like 50. That's okay. If people just don't want to, that's okay. But believe it or not, I did send you some funny things on your phone though. Okay, cool. Guyington's working for free right now, which he finds infuriating. I'm okay with it, but. All right, so Cod says, Onion still based. I've been sitting on a UBM headline for weeks now. Stop Asian Hate Movement isn't doing enough to prevent offensive slurs, says Gook. That's great, Cod. Well done. All right. You don't need to send shekels. I'm joking. I just thought that was surprising. If we don't have any, swear to God it's fine. I like the natural cycle of things. I just thought it was surprising. All right, what else do I got for you guys? All right, I'll open some of this mail. That was a great one, Cod. Write more of those. We're going to take down the B. The way America takes stuff down. Being better than them. And I know it feels like it's hopeless because of banking and free money and media and all that. It's not. They're failing bad. They're sending people to the moon with Dogecoin. Okay? So hold the line. You don't need free money. You don't need praise from Satan. You know, it's like you're not going to get it. If you get a statue built of you, you did something wrong. Nobody is going to praise you in that system if you're doing anything good. And so because dude, I've been doing research on how these people think. They're like fucking retarded, guys. All right. They're going to wish they were us. Yeah, but don't think that way, though. You're already starting a little bit of envy there. Don't think like that. Think like, I'm not going to tell you how to think, but don't be like, you're going to wish you were us. Big Bear, I've always wondered what you do with these letters once you're done reading them. I keep them in fireproof garbage cans. Oh, here's some entropy. Thank you. Your streams just get better and better. Thank you, Barbara. Mark 7:15. There's nothing outside a person that by going into him can defile him, but the things that come out of a person are what defile him. Interesting. Vax shedding is a myth from personal experience. I trained last Monday and yesterday with a guy who got both jabs. So far, so good. Yeah, it sounds like you can just spot nonsense where it's like, oh, I have to wear a mask and not be around my friends now because they got vaccinated. Really? That sounds to me like just more secular bullshit. All right. I imagine you using them as firewood in your wood fire ovens. Must be nice. No, I don't. Well, laughing with Amy. Haha. I don't. I cherish these letters. I really do. I mean, I don't have them organized at all, but I feel really uncomfortable. I'd feel really uncomfortable burning them. They're so beautiful. I've kept every one. I mean, from Faggot Bear and stuff, no, but anyway, here's some more firewood. No, that's not what I do. And thank you for the piece of silver, by the way. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, 27 years old, 21 Rogans tall. When 2020 hit, I descended into anger and despair. Everyone was saying 2 + 2 = 5, but I knew it was 4. And I was the insane one. Right. They're desperately holding on to... Guys, remember that I'm telling you, it's nightclub business in LA. A new nightclub comes up. Everybody throws their money into it. It fails. Next one, everyone throws their money into it. It fails. Those are just a faster cycle than a system. You want a bar that the beer is cold, reasonably priced, good people are there. Create a system like that in your local community, and you will be, not only will you be fine, the future cannot be brighter. The amount of dead wood burning right now is amazing. You just have to hold the line. Those people are fucking they're not going to the moon with doggy coin. They're wearing dental hygienist masks in grocery stores. It's like people wearing weights in a running competition, right? Okay, so great metaphor. So you're running against 10 other guys. They're all wearing weight vests so they don't catch something that doesn't exist. You win, they get the gold medal, you get sad. Okay, the original purpose of a race was to figure out who the fastest was for real world consequences. That gold medal only meant something if you were the fastest, because that meant you were better at hunting, you were better at war, you had a better endocrine system or whatever for mating. I don't know, just you were a better man. Okay, who they award doesn't matter. You're still the fastest. Unless you require a pat on the head, a lollipop in your mouth, and a dildo in your ass from Satan, it does not matter who they award. Guys, Mark Zuckerberg is now copying me. The fucking robot got goats. Yeah, if you think chopping your cock off, not having kids, wearing a mask, and hating this color of your white skin is going to help you, you're fucking crazy. But Big Bear, I can't get into college. Maybe you shouldn't go to college. Maybe every time they kick you out of a decaying industry or a nightclub, oh, you can't come into this nightclub. Oh, it's like maybe you're not supposed to go into the nightclub. Maybe every single one of these Ponzi schemes is to be avoided. Oh, well, Bitcoin's going to keep going up. Yeah, and the fiat dollar went up a lot after 1913 too. And I wish that our ancestors didn't take that deal. Even though generations lived and died getting blowjobs at Woodstock, having no idea what comes later, don't think in terms of just your life. You will die. You won't be able to get BJs in your Buick anymore. Your soul is eternal. Don't think in terms of how you can benefit yourself the best. Is it going to damn your kids? And even if Bitcoin comes and all that, fine. But it's where was dad when this came? Imagine if you find out, when I found out my grandfather knew that Pearl Harbor was bullshit. He read the newspaper. He was a furnace cleaner, and he said, well, Roosevelt got his war. That was his response. That gives me a sense of solidarity with my ancestry. That was my dad's dad, married to a grabbler. He said, well, Roosevelt got his war. All right, morning legends and crush. Yeah, nobody's having more fun than the Bears. Fact. And it's like, wouldn't you want to know that in 1913, one of your ancestors was like, I don't think we should privatize our currency? Wouldn't you want to know, even if they did, wouldn't you want to know that your ancestor at least voiced an opinion outside of that? What they do doesn't matter. Like, you're not them. Fuck them. Bunch of fucking retards. I want to see if this is still going. Hang on. Oh, wow. Tea Time with Barry and Larry already has 1,000 viewers. You see what I mean? If you're the fastest, you're the fastest. You know how much money and fake stats they put into making some of these dipshits look relevant when they're not? I have 1,000 live viewers right now on a channel that basically doesn't exist. That I just started. Oh, it's because you're brainwashed, because you're cult. Really? So the guy that says don't put a mask on your kid and inject poison in their arm is the cult leader? You might want to think about that again. After months of intense grabbler rage, confusion, protesting fines, attempting to wake people up, and further ostracizing myself, I finally decided it wasn't worth trying to educate others, and instead I focused on myself and my family. Very soon after I made this decision, a friend sent me a compilation video of you spiraling about how the earth could potentially be flat. So funny. From there, I found your stream. It was late last year during the election fiasco. My cousin Giuliani was the first stream I saw, and I could not stop laughing. Reedy, get in here, Reedy. Though hilarious rhetoric, you taught me not to wake rape people and simply build. I would have saved months of stress and fear had I found you sooner, but I also realized this was a necessary part of my learning journey and growth. Yeah, you wouldn't have appreciated it if you didn't spiral for a bit. Dave Smith only gets 400 viewers tops and he gets promoted by the toe. Yeah, people are... Dude, I don't even think the toe gets the viewers people think. If I was allowed a month on here with my name on it, with like an ability for subscribers to hit notifications, all that, I'd be getting 20,000 viewers a stream. And if you don't realize that, just trust me, it's true. It's like, and that's not, it's just because I won't cuck to mediocrity. Anarcho-capitalism doesn't work. It's stupid. And Joe Rogan's fucking penis pumps don't work. They're like, he's a liar. No one went to the moon. Dude, everyone's getting it. Like, we're seeing it. We want quality. We don't want to listen to someone say what has to be said so that they can collect money from beachbody.com. It's like, it's dead. Fake views to hype up bullshit. Yeah, I can verify. I literally have the analytics. Yeah, it's a fact. And if it could be like, let's say the chat wasn't filled with paid trolls. Paid. Some of them are paid. Think about the environment. Like if we had YouTube, just the chat flying, totally open. Let's say, what do you think my live numbers would be after having my entire Hollywood career, going to YouTube, doing all these videos on YouTube, not being censored, not being shadow banned, being allowed on Twitter, Facebook, all that. What do you think my live stream viewers would be? 500,000? Like 250? Oh, how dare you? There's no way. No, there is a way. There's a massive, just Mountain Bear, Red Pill Rooster, Be Grateful Bear, just their cartoons alone would beat Adult Swim. Who do you think would choose CNN over this stream if it wasn't deemed bad? The reason their cognitive dissonance is so crazy is because they're like, oh, he's the bad man. Big up, right, that's homophobe. After you watch some of these cartoons me and Mountain Bear make, you have to be insane or lying to think that, like, I'm the racist, not the college institutions, directly trying to get all these underprivileged blacks in debt. Yeah, my stand-up used to get millions of views. When they deleted my YouTube, I had 100 million views on it. And that was after shadow banning. That was after deleting and all that stuff and not letting me promote on social media. Imagine. But see, then I wouldn't have built my own shit. And our community wouldn't be so high quality. And it still drives the psychopaths insane. They still want to burn me. Because even with our like little group here, that this is loyal group that seeks out good, it's so much easier to promote good than bad. To get the world to think Amy Schumer was a comedian took about $1 billion. And it was to push eugenics, abortion, self-hatred, Jew stuff. It's like, and I get their paranoia. They're like a tiny minority in countries, and they control all this stuff, and it's all based on illusion that at any minute people can see through. Imagine that. Imagine if like you're cheating on your wife with like her sister, and they're always hanging out. Like at any minute she can find out. Like at any time. And like every time they go out, you think like, I hope today's not the day. Moon landing, 9/11, school shootings, COVID-19. Like, dude, it's so obvious. Like these people are like riding on these like crazy obvious lies. So you're saying nobody, well then that means when my grandmother dies of COVID-19, you're a murderer. It's because she's fat and alone. You're going to blame me for the death of your grandmother because I won't wear a mask? Who do you think's going to win this little race? Mark Zuckerberg sucks at goats. And the only reason he has basically a team of probably Mossad agents raising his goats for him, who, by the way, I would probably get along with better than him. Mossad. Whoever can shoot a gun and raise a goat, I have more in common with. I don't care what your banner is. What happens when he can't pay them anymore? What happens when the narrative starts falling? What happens when more Jews become truthers and start, like Dave Weiss and all these, and Tyler Goldstein, all these people, and they're like, you know, I'm starting to think that there might be a God. And they're like, how dare you? They're not even Jews because these secular Jews don't believe in God. They think that we're created by chaos and we're managed by banks. That's how they live. It's why their life is so dark. Because they're like, well, I set up a stock market to keep everybody in line. And of course, every day is hell. You know, life is pain. It's like, shut up. Your insights, music, and humor has completely disintegrated all my fear. There's nothing they can do to you that you don't choose first. Exactly. My various COVID-95 related fines have all been retracted. There truly is no enforcement outside of the cattle. Yeah, other cattle will enforce. Like the retards, like the upside down pyramid. Like most of my opposition is like dumb people. People that they hear me say something and they go, if that's true, then I have to change my life. I'm going to delete him from the world. Yeah, the enforcement comes from, like, without Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King Jr. isn't getting killed. Without, you know, some of Elijah Muhammad's relationship with Malcolm and some of his, like, you know, without that personal shit, the system can't even get to Martin. The system got to Martin Luther King Jr. through Jesse Jackson. And they got, and he was tight with Jesse because of their mutual sex addiction, allegedly. And so it's not easy to just, for the system to do anything. They operate only in illusion and narrative and spellcraft. That's all they have. If you have the truth on your side, you are the majority. Don't hurt them. Don't attack them. Don't seek vengeance. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. I want zero radical talk or any of that shit in the bears at all. If you see it, that ain't a bear. They might be a literal bear, or they can call themselves a bear or whatever, but like the whole like, we got to take back America. We got to get, 110, here we come. Like, that's pussy talk. You're dealing with a fucking a piston, and don't get me wrong, I used to say it too. I get it. I understand it. But you're looking at a piston sandbox, and then you got Yellowstone Park. They won't let us in Yellowstone Park. There's nothing they can do, retard. You haven't even tried it. Like, most people have not even tried just doing it. They just go, well, the Jew will just take it away. Why are you having a garden, Owen? The Jew will just take it. Really? I get all my food from my garden. When exactly is this Jew showing up? When exactly is the Jew going to keep me and Amy from trying to have a fourth kid? Do they knock on the door and say, you're going to have a fourth kid? No, it's banking. Banking can control behavior, but it's only if you want their money, their loans. And are you lazy? Do you deal in futures? Do you want free money and free sex? Do you want to watch their porn and then get mad at them? Do you know how easy it is to not watch porn? And then you want to blame Jews because you watch their pornos. And the only reason they're getting pornos is because of the drugs. They get them addicted to pills, remove the pills, give the people money. They film it. They give it to the cattle. The cattle, oh, geez, I'm whacking off again. And then they get mad at me when I say, maybe that's messing up your brain. Maybe that's why you have no sperm count. You know? Before you just blame Jews for the fact you don't have kids or a sperm count, I don't know, do you jerk off 3 times a day by any chance? Are you just constantly draining your dick? Is your wife like, has she been on, I don't know, hormone pills for the last 10 years so you can come in there without pulling it out? Maybe you think that might have affected her cycle a little bit? I don't know. But no, it's just the Jews, right? Just the Jews. As Owen says, nowadays they even make you agree to watching porn by clicking a button. Read the button. Do you agree to it or not? I agree. Oh, I totally agree. Take my cookies. Just give me the milk. BB will just feed the Jews some Brussels sprouts. There's a good chance I'll have Jewish builder buddies at some point. Because when the cities collapse and the Zuckerberg types come out to the country to get some milk, let's just say I have a work-related, proposition for them. You take care of the goats and I'll give you some milk. And that's the end of our relationship. Take it or leave it. It's called the Builder Buddy program. So slavery? I like to call it the Builder Buddy program. As one pyramid falls, maybe we can build another one. The Talmud will mention the giant enslaver for 1,000 years. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, how dare you feed... If I feed starving Jews, you cannot call me anti-Semitic. If a horde of starving urban Jews come out to my farm and I feed them, and they do a little work for me, if you call that anti-Semitic, it'll be a mockery. The Pharaoh fed them. All these people are like, get rid of the Jews. Dude, they're going to build. They're going to build for money. No, not money, food. Yeah, maybe. I'm just saying that's possible. It's possible that a group of starving elite from the city that no longer have a means of getting plumbing or food, they may, just may, really take kindly to the Builder Buddy program. Farm friends. Then they'll just call it a camp and get really mad. No. They can leave anytime they want. The way Auschwitz and Dachau, the way that they really messed up was the barbed wire. Keep the doors open. The real Builder Buddy Farm Friends program for when the cities fall, the number one rule is don't ever keep people outside of their own free will. No barbed wire. No locked gates. Now you need a locked gate. See, this is when things get... How do you keep out barbarians? I don't know. We'll think this over. But the number one rule is if a builder buddy or a farm friend wants to leave, they're allowed to leave. Jews working, BB. Denmark Bear, everybody works for food. When all the systems collapse and you have the .com guys and the Mossad agents won't work for them anymore and do their... Zuckerberg is not raising his own goats. And at some point when that spell breaks and they go, well, do you want Bitcoin injected into your chip in your dick? By that point, every spy agency will only be employing like midget trans unicorn retards in wheelchairs. Guys, this whole process is to degrade the institution. Okay, so then let's just say there's a dude who saw this coming years ahead of time. No, my name's not Noah, but there's arc-like things happening. And then when Zuckerberg and his buddies come out to the country and say, we're starving. And I go, no problem. But first you have to become a builder buddy. And I would not brand them, but they'd have to wear a shirt. Or they can always leave. Just like with a lot of their, you can always, it's the free market, Big Bear. If you don't want to go, if you want a theater, then make one yourself. I took that to heart. If you don't want to shop at if you don't want to inject the poison in your arm and go to a grocery store, then make your own fucking grocery store. Welcome to America and capitalism. I'm like, okay. Do 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 do. Oh, your grocery stores are all now closed. Okay, so if you want any of my food now, you're going to have to become a builder buddy. Okay, so anyway, I'm very grateful for the positive influence you have had on my life in a short period of time. Benjamin's going to enslave Jews. No, I'm not. I'm going to feed people that in turn give me work. There will be no barbed wire. As far as the branding of the Builder Buddies program goes, barbed wire is the worst possible thing you can have. Oh, it's just to keep people out. Yeah, tell that to the Nuremberg trials. It's voluntarism. You come, you work, you get some food. Maybe you learn some life lessons. Maybe you don't bite the tip off a baby's dick in the future. I don't know. Jeopardy sucks without Trebek. He kept those lippy contestants in line. Ever since I realized that Jeopardy was a satanic spell where everything's backwards, I stopped watching. They will make a jerk coin chip and put it in your ween, and jerking will be the only way. Yeah, mine crypto. Yeah, dude, you just put that into reality. They're going to fucking do that now. They're going to, because I used to do a bit where I'm like, I got a Fitbit, and I forgot it was on, and I masturbated. It turns out it takes me 1.8 miles to come. They'll fucking go with that. Trust me, dude, just wait in a year. Oh, there's a Fitbit that mine's crypto and you jerk off. My jokes just keep coming true. So it's like 2013, I did a joke. I got a Fitbit. I forgot it was on. Turns out it takes me 1.8 miles to come. It's a great joke. 3.3 miles maybe, I don't know. Some form of numerology. 1.8 is 666. But it's like, they're definitely going to be like, make money while you squirt. Dude, they're definitely going to do it. It's going to be called Wank Coin. Cum Coin. How do you make Cum Coin? The longer you jerk, the more you squirt, the more money you make, and you can really invest in your future and then buy land. That's always what these crypto retards are saying. But Big Bear, I'm investing in it so I can buy land and be like, yee. Good luck with Squirt Coin. They're going to fucking do Squirt Coin. They never buy the land with the Squirt Coin. They're just going to be hunched over a fucking laptop in the dark, like just spewing their fucking future generations into a waste paper basket. And then they're going to be like, oh, with Squirt Coin, I can buy more porno. Wow. It's definitely happening, dude. They're going to start mining money based on squirting. 100%. Jesus. Sick fuck. Oh, you're reacting to something that isn't real. It's 100% coming. I'm mining so hard right now. It's not masturbating. It's doing work. Don't you see, Big Bear? Every time they take a sin and they make it appear as work, they do it. They're going to do it. You know they're going to do Squirt Coin. Yeah, instead of mining, it's stroking. Oh, how much Squirt Coin have you stroked today? Oh, I've been working hard all morning. Why don't I have a family? Why am I sad all the time? Why is Owen Benjamin staring at me looking at his watch? Do, 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 do. Oh, I'm sorry. It may take generations, but you're going to be Builder Buddies. All right. I'm mining so hard right now. Oh, totally. Could you please verify me as Phoenician Bear? Welcome. I think the second one is funny. Oh, the other one is Baronese. No, it's a word and then the word bear. It's really not hard to understand. It's like, I'm Barandia. It's like, you're Arandia Bear. This isn't fucking Jeopardy. You don't get to read everything backwards for money. All right. Never stop. Keep crushing. You're doing great, kid. God bless you, Amy, the Cubs, Dandy, and the Bears. P.S. The Trinity is gay. Could it be? Great. You just started a whole war based on your P.S. Dear Big Bear, I asked to be verified a while back. Desert Bear or Denite Bear? How about Desert Bear? I like that. Your quick video about the gospel simply reminded me of my favorite primary song that really hits home. I'm trying to be like Jesus. There's a song. Thank you. Thanks again for everything. Life is great. I got married to a wonderful woman in December, and we got a baby due in November. That's what it's all about. That's trying to be like Jesus, baby. Your streams have helped me greatly to get where I'm at. Sometimes you need a reluctant warlord rabbi to give you an encouragement. Bertaria, Drew. Thank you, Drew. Wonderful letter. Yeah, there's people cannot call me anti-Semitic for being a rabbi that employs Jews after the fall. Will we be building pyramids? Maybe. Maybe. All right. How great would it be, though? I'd be genuinely proud of Zuckerberg if he started raising his goats himself. I swear to God, I'd compliment him a ton. I'd be like, I swear, if Zuckerberg starts milking his own goats, like provably, and it isn't the Mossad, I swear to God, I will be like, I like this guy. All right. Castles? Yeah, it'll be castles. It's not going to be pyramids. Oh, how dare you force me to... I kept you alive. I kept you alive in a time of no food, and that's a fact. And yeah, will they be grateful? No, they're not a grateful people, but they have their purpose. They'll do anything for food and pornos. It's like the greatest... Oh, how dare you make fun of Jews? Dude, that's what... Babylon Bee has a weakness. Babylon Bee can be very funny when they steal from me. But they won't make fun of the people that need to be made fun of the most in the world, which are Zionists. Do I want to kill Zionists? No. Do I even care that they have so much power in America? Not one bit. Because I think that power is derived by compliance of the people who desire to be governed by them. I don't, and they don't seem to bother me at all. Oh, they kicked you off all their platforms. A kid can kick people out of their fucking pissy sandbox. That's fine with me. I'll make my own sandbox. But they don't let you. Yes, they do. I have the hardest job in the world to make money at. Much love, Bears. Thanks, Nick. Louisiana Black Bear says, tip for the piano man. Keep crushing. Thank you. Boring Mill Bear, and this will be it for me. I followed you on Twitter years ago. My life was a mess. I took a break from any media for a while, but have subscribed on unauthorized.tv. Thanks for doing all these streams. People are nuts here in Ontario, and they really help me stay grounded. Can I be verified as Boring Mill Bear? Yeah, just hold the ground, Boring Mill Bear. Keep your mind. Despair is a sin. Fear is a sin. You can be cautious. You can be like, don't be reckless, you know? I'm not saying that to be like reckless. That's not what I mean by fearless. But just don't have that like fear. You're going to be fine. Like these people are sabotaging themselves. I know it's a hard time. I know. I get it. But keep your head. They want you to self-destruct. They're praising heroin addicts for... Oh, that's another one of these. We got a ton of hilarious... hilarious Unbearables media memes. One of them is... heroin addict faces backlash for refusing to get vaxxed. Good luck with that, Babylon Bee. And I mean that seriously. Paper Rectangles voted biggest influencer in Hollywood. These are great. Global warming causes blood to boil in non-cool people. Riot season delayed due to lack of funding. Actual sheep face backlash for not wearing masks. Study. Washing hands 33 times a day prevents getting anything done. Satan upset that his followers are total losers. Oh, here's a funny one about me. Zionists and Nazis make peace and hating Owen Benjamin. Good luck, Babylon Bee. You crossed too many lines, and now I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you, Babylon Bee. All right, here's some dirt for the dirt buckets. Thank you. Any piano this morning from Denmark Bear? I'll close on Hurt for Denmark Bear. Test to see if this works. COD's line of credit at the casino requires this to work for the wagon burners. Great stream teaching us to stop being meat birds. Thanks, BB. Anytime. What came first, the cattle or the slaughterhouse? The cattle. Hey, BB, so glad Barry and Larry coincidentally have a T channel they're willing to let you host. I'm late to the gravy sitting today, but I can't let the red men hurt COD because nobody put any dirt in his bucket. Grateful for the community. The gravy must flow. All right. Thank you, everybody, for those. And Kyneton just avoided, for sure, death. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain. No, that's not it. How's this fucking song go? I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain. The only thing that's real. The needle takes a toll. The old familiar sting. Tried to kill it all away, but I remember everything. It goes, what have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you can have it all. My empire of dirt. I will let you down. I will make you hurt. Beneath the stains of time, the feeling disappear. You are somewhere else, and I am still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. If I could start again, a million miles away, I would be myself. I would find a way. I wear this crown of thorns on my liar's chair. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you can have it all. My empire of dirt. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a. Well, I know what song I kind of want to play by Nine Inch Nails is Hey Pig. And sometimes when I'm talking to like Nazi adjacent types about how you can get around Jews, they get as disappointed as Jews do when you tell them 6 million of them didn't actually die. It's really weird. I'm like, oh no, they can't control you really. And they're like, no, yeah, they can. They control me. I'm like, no, this is how you get. It's the same with the Jews. You're like, it's pretty obvious that 6 million of you guys didn't die in the Holocaust. You're like, no, they died. They burned. They suffered. I'm like, isn't this good news? It's the same with Nazis. I'm like, the Jews don't actually control your life. They're like, no, they do. I'm like, oh, you're one of them then if you give us a way out. I'm like, okay, Nazi. They don't want a solution. They're so similar. The Grabler Jew type, not all the Jews obviously, but like the Grabler types and the Nazi types. So they're like, they need oppression. They're like, no, the Nazis killed 6 million of us. I'm like, actually, a lot of it was typhus and there's probably a Builder Buddy program. It's like, no, they died. I'm like, I can prove to you that there's no possible way. Some died. Yeah, it was war, terrible banking war. But the same thing happens with the Nazis where you're like, no, they're not really poisoning you. It's the supply chains are like running out. They use all this stuff so they can do mass farming. If you grow your own, you're fine. Get out of debt, form your own communities. But they're like, no, the Jew won't let me. I'm like, white genocide, they're replacing us. I'm like, yeah, they're replacing you because your parents in the 60s literally just fucked and free loved themselves into not having enough kids. And then they pushed their kids to go into debt in colleges so they didn't actually have useful skills. And, now we need workers, so they have to bring them in from other countries. And they're like, no, the Jew. Hey Pig. Where is it? Where's Hey Pig by Nine Inch Nails? Pigs. I'm going to play Pigs on the Wing, and then I'm out of here. The Jews don't control your life. They can if you ask them to. Pigs on the Wing. They're super gay and annoying acting for the most part. But when the cities collapse, they will be great for the Builder Buddy program. And if you don't see my vision, that's fine. Just don't get mad at me. If you didn't care what happened to me, and I didn't care for you. But it's not because they're Jews that they're annoying and gay acting. It's urban living. Country Jews, although I've never met one, I do know that they exist. I bet they're fine. I seriously think it's urban living makes you like gay and feminine and like lying, because your whole world is based on a lie that there's always going to be supply chains feeding your fat piggy face, that you just become this embodiment of like shit. But I bet like Dave Weiss's dad had a farm. So and Tyler Goldstein's dad fixed cars. Hence them being good Jews. It really is country versus city. Country Jews, don't take me home, 'cause you'll try to give me a high interest loan in West Virginia. Allegedly. One of my best friends is a fabled country Jew. Country Jews are, dude, we just came up with something amazing. Country Jews is a hysterical concept. Still no janitors? No, because they've taken over city living. I'm just going to play this and I'm out. If you didn't care, country Jew, what happened to me? And I didn't care. And why do I have no problem making fun of a lot of the Nazi guys, even though they're like woke and shit? It's because if any victim isn't useful in my Builder Buddy program of the future. Anybody that sits around blaming other people for their problems and not looking for solutions is not going to help me build castles and airships. So I don't need you. A lot of these like gamma hive break off splintering of the bear communities where it's like, well, fine. Me and everyone who blames everything on Jews is going to go start our own church. I'm like, you promise you're taking all them with you? It's like, what, you're happy? I'm like, yeah. Because that's dead wood. That's why, like, listen, like, monitor each other. Like, if somebody's talking about, like, who done it and why, that's why go to Beartaria Times app. It's unbelievable. Everybody's growing shit, having kids. It's a world without victim consciousness. It's fucking amazing. Don't take their loans or watch their porn, and you're fine. Or take their pills. All right. If I didn't care for you, we'd zigzag our way through the boredom and pain, occasionally glancing up through the rain, wondering which buggers to blame. So good. And watching for pigs on the wing. Country Jews, you confuse, 'cause you got a gun, but you still can't run well 'cause of irritable bowel syndrome. But you're still a good dude, kinda, but I'm not taking loans for my home. Country Jews, you got a use for buying and selling things I use in West Virginia, 12 hours from Manhattan. Country Jews don't got the blues. They see their cousins up in New York City and LA, wondering when the hell to pay comes. But country Jews, they don't lose. They got a gun, but they can't really run fast 'cause of irritable bowel syndrome. Other than that, they're pretty cool. They're builder buddies. I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing such a crazy manic behavior of the cities, because imagine, like, your subconscious way deep down knows that the builder buddy programs are coming back. And you got to give up all the sodomy and the usury and the pornos. Dude, they're having a hard time making pornos these days, I bet. Because it's hard to, like people aren't traveling as much. People are... Okay, let's end on this. All the good things from the COVID thing. Okay, think about it. Like, people are living with their families more. They're traveling less. They're getting more into farming. They're becoming more truth-oriented. The vaccine stuff is actually finally coming out. Guys, 1 year ago, I was seen as a total psycho for thinking vaccines were unhealthy. Even the Jew gets it now. Check this out. Summer camp for Jewish boys plans to bar mitzvah those with COVID vaccination reports. It's great. People will have to buy and sell locally. Children will become an asset, not a liability. Truth becomes a strength, not a weakness. And I don't know, 100 million people will be not a threat anymore. All right, let's mow the yard, milk the cow, country Jews. Mow the yard, milk the cow, not making pornos like your cousin Sal. In the country, Jews are funny, because the Jew can still be really funny. The problem that people have with Jews isn't that they're Jews. It isn't that they have in-group preference. It isn't that they're from a certain tribe. It isn't even that they're quirky and they go, I'm just trying to eat my soup, but where's my spoon? No, it's sodomy, porn, drugs, usury, war, and subversion of our way of life. Get them in the country, builder buddy program. Don't let them write down all the gripes about the Builder Buddy program, though, or else they have to leave. If you see one of the grabbers that flees the city that joins your Farm Friends program, if you see them frantically writing, confiscate it. Oh, I thought you said they can leave. They can leave, but they can't be there writing little notes like, today they said they were going to make me into soap. It's like, no, we said use soap, Ira. Use soap. So you want me to be the soap? Jesus, this is exhausting. No, use soap. So you're going to make me soap and sell it? Ira, I think you're projecting. Do you want to make people into soap? Yeah, they'd be great for bottom line. If we just simply take dead bodies and turn them into soap, then we can get all this money. Ira, this is ridiculous. No one wants to turn you into soap. Just do some work, and work will set you free. Because it's from your, it's having pride in your work. Work will set you free. I was saying I'm in prison. No, God damn it, Ira. You're in prison to your own appetites. When you work, when you think about what you're doing with your hands, your work will set you free. You're a prisoner in your own mind. You're making me a prisoner in my own mind? Holy shit, this is a Builder Buddy program. Can we just get Swedish people or something? But I want to make more squirt coin. I'm stroking off all day. I'm mining my stroke coin. That isn't real work, Ira. Work will set you free, all right. Stroke it, boys. Give me some squirt coin. That's not real work. That's food, water, clothing, shelter, machines, plumbing, real work. So, stroke coin, so I can pay myself to jerk off now based on marketing scams. Ira, you're a goddamn genius. If you simply put that towards something good, the world would actually be Tikam Olaf. Whatever the fuck you... Oh, to hear the word, mama. To hear the word, everybody likes to stroke, so why can't we make cryptocurrency based on how many strokes we do? I have premature ejaculation, so I don't get any money, but I can at least try and be a special boy. Not real work. You ever try to... Not real work. Not real work. You ever try to masturbate for a fifth time in one day when you have irritable bowel syndrome and you're running out of pornos? Not real work. You and your farming, you and your ability to have supply chains based on actual real-life economics. No. You want to know what work is? When you've squirted 4 times and you have to have some real thick shit in your head to get a boner. I'm talking incest. Ira, shut the fuck up. Stepmom, threesome. Without that, how am I supposed to get paid? How am I supposed to squirt? If I don't squirt, I don't have squirt coin. It's so unnatural to masturbate all day without any actual women in my life. I have my penis doesn't work anymore. So how am I? So now I have to go in my own asshole so I can get squirt coin. Ira, you might just want to leave. But you're oppressing me. You're making me stay in your camp, aren't you? Ira, leave. Ira, leave. Oh no, they're kicking me out. I can't. No. Squirt coin doesn't work in the Builder Buddy program. Oh, so you're forcing me out. What? You want to stay? Then you got to do work. Oh, oppression. You want to turn me into soap? Ira, you either stay or you leave. If you stay, you can't jerk off all day and claim that you're being like turned into soap. If you leave, you can't go tell everybody that we kicked you out because you're Jewish. But how am I supposed to squirt if I don't have hardcore incest threesome fantasies? I don't know what to do at this point. This is where every nation gets to, and it's not Jews. It's that demonic presence of like, but what we can do is do a multi-platform marketing campaign. We get Bitcoin, we get Elon Musk, shoot him to the moon, fucking squirt, everyone jerking off, and then we have an illusion with the new VR goggles so that people think that we have robots that we're... It's like, dude, grow food! It's like, all right, I'm closing on something else. I'm closing on Ira and Jesus. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Make Ira sign a contract? It doesn't work because they're like, hey, the contract, we redefine the term. Don't you know, Big Bear? They always redefine the terms. They go, oh, by not squirting, according to Black's Law's Dictionary, 33rd edition, made by my friend, not means to. It's like, Ira, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, yeah, don't you know? Don't you know that the word to not squirt now means to squirt? Jesus, Ira, how are you supposed to feed yourself? The fucking cattle are going to feed me. Oh, Jesus. That's why I don't get involved in any of that free man on the land shit or any of that, because it's all the reason it all exists, like Black's Legal Dictionary and all that. It's just to get out of contracts. They go, Ira, you have to, shovel 1 pile of feed a day, and then you get 1 quart of milk. And he's like, okay, aye, sir. And then he's like, by a pile, you mean 1 grain of sand. And by 1 quart of milk, I just redefined the word quart to mean all. So all the milk. And you're like, oh my God, Ira, you fucking piece of shit. And he's like, oh, you're trying to hurt me. You're trying to hurt me, calling me a piece of shit. Oh no, it's because I'm a dude. No, it's because you're lying. It's the behavior, Ira. It's not your fucking tribe. Like, you've spent $1 trillion on brand management of the word Jew, and you're still hated by most of the world. What does that tell you, Ira? You're trying to hurt me.
I'm a tax collector. I feel really bad about it, but fuck, I just do my, it's okay. It's okay. You're going to see that you don't need the money. Oh, I don't need the money. Really? You see it now? Just grab more money off people. Oh, Jesus. Hey, Jesus, sorry about taking all the silver for selling you out and everything, man, but I was fucking squirting. I was so scared. It's all right, man. I know you know not what you do, but, please stop now. Like, now, stop. Yeah, dude, I get it. I get it now. Man, this silver is weighing really heavily in my pocket. I feel like a real dickhead. It's okay. You know not what you do. But don't do it again. I won't. Hey, Roman guy, this guy also crushes. Can I have some more money? Wow, Jesus, that was amazing. I can't believe you just blew my mind again. It's all good. I don't think so. You want me to see want me to do another unbelievable thing? Yes. Oh, Jesus, look at you, bat 1,000 every time. Okay, it's all good. No, can't possibly be. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thanks for all the fish and looking at them on the water. Everyone's crushing. It's all good. No, though. There's no way, though. I know more, though. Dude, how many times do I have to tell you it? Like, I just keep showing you that I know shit. No, yeah, I know you're crushing. Look, water, wine. You fucking denied the devil. Everyone's doing great. And you blow my mind, Jesus. I had leprosy. I'm now crushing again. Look, my dick is back. Oh, dude, I was so fucking full of demons, bro. You told me to stop sinning, and I'm crushing. I thought that I was blind. I can fucking see everything now. Jesus, you're so great. So you trust me, my son? Yes, obviously. It's all good. No, it can't be. I mean, I was with you, Jesus. Don't be afraid. I'm already scared again. Oh, Jesus, I'm squirting. Oh, dude, I just felt it. I'm not afraid. Wow, holy shit, I can hear God. Is it God's in my heart? Holy fuck. Oh, Jesus, I'm scared again. I'm jerking off. Jesus, I want to be a better boy. I want to be a better boy. You don't have to circumcise anybody anymore. We're done with that. We've went through that lesson. We don't need that anymore. But who's going to give me back my foreskin? Just stop now. Just now stop. But I'm still clipped, so I'm going to clip my kid again. Dude, I just said you don't have to clip anymore. Hey, but dude, what the fuck's going to give me back my foreskin? I told you, stop with the foreskins. I've already told you guys that. My children, no more foreskin clipping. Oh, Jesus, but I want them to feel suffering like I feel. I know, and I'm relieving you of that. Be not afraid. Fear not. I feel it. Oh, my God, my posture is finally straightening. You guys stop the trauma cycle now, Ira. Last tip, I promise. Okay, when you guys make America, can you not just put a giant dick in the heart of the Capitol? Yeah, no fucking way are we gonna do that. Ira, I know you. I know what you're gonna do. Oh, fuck. Seriously? You're gonna take a hero, and you're gonna make a monument, and you're gonna say it's for him, but it's for you. Isn't that right, Ira? No fucking way. No way would we do that. We'd make a face, and he'd just be like a normal person. It wouldn't be his penis at all. Ira, I'm the son of God. I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna get a statue, and you're gonna make it a giant dick. I just can't stop looking at it. And because it's so sick and weird, no one's even gonna notice for like hundreds of years. They're gonna literally be like, oh, that checks out, because no one can even conceive of how fucked up you people are. What? No. In 1900 years, we'll definitely stop clipping dicks by then. Ira, I know you won't. I know you won't, Ira. Just look at me. Just stop with the tips. Is it okay if I bury two giant amounts of gold under the giant shaft, and then when people wake up to the moon landing, it squirts all over Delaware? Ira, that's insane. I know you know not what you do, but it's seriously getting tedious. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God. So, yeah, COD just had a really funny thing. Like the squirt coin should be called the Spank Bank. All right, that's going to do it for me today. It's so true, though. Like every bit of that is true. It's just like, and that's why they have to ban me, because when you watch that, you realize what comedy is. Nothing on Netflix compares to that. Oh, how dare you? Did you not see Joe Rogan's new thing where he kind of justified pedophilia and I don't know. Like, it's crazy bad. That was improv. That was me improving. I'm not being prideful. It's just a fact. It's like that. I was fucking improving all that off the top of my head on a live stream. Mountain Bear animated it, and it's hysterical. Meanwhile, they spend billions of dollars on these dipshits in Hollywood to be like, what's up with Donald Trump? It's like, Jesus. My what privilege showing? It's just a scam to get people to go along with a failing Ponzi scheme. That's why it's all about going back to the beginning, baby. Silver. Silver kills the werewolf. All right, that's going to be it. Oh, I still have more. I think I got some more super chats. Thank you, guys. Kyneton was about to be executed. All right. Some good advice from JLP and Owen for men is to be patient. Don't overreact. No fear, no despair bears. Don't hit anyone half goes to BB. Keep crushing. Why, thank you. No despair bear says, I busted out laughing in a crowded gas station about the cum coin. Best comedian ever. I want a guy laughing in a gas station more than Netflix. I don't want to play in their fixed game. I'm not going to play on a football team whose dad is the coach where the fat Ira is like the quarterback. No, I'd literally rather just do anything else. But you have to in order to go to college. Then maybe the fuck I don't want to go to college. Well, oh no, it's going all the way back to the beginning. Oh, the spells are unraveling. You won't have any money. Well, maybe I don't want any money. Oh, fuck. This piece of fucking square that like we're convincing everyone to sell out their own children for, you're telling me that doesn't motivate you to kill your children anymore? Jesus, I'm trying to be a better guy, but I'm just squirting. Life is so painful. Well, my son, maybe life is painful because you live a terrible life. No, can't be that, Jesus. Can't be that. All right. If you'd like to support the stream, it's all supported by listeners like you. P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864, because the United States of America still protects the post office, unlike PayPal. Oh, it's private. We can do whatever we want in a private place. Tell that to Auschwitz. No, not Auschwitz, though. That's extreme. That's really not, though. If you're going to enforce medical tyranny, that you have to get a medical procedure in order to shop in a store, that's outlawed by the Nuremberg trials. That goes against war crimes. So, yeah, it is fucking applicable that Auschwitz was a private business. No. If you want to turn people into soap, what's that? What if that's their terms and conditions? And no, I'm not backing Auschwitz. I'm showing you that you're Auschwitz, you little grabbler freak. That's why I'm not playing your game anymore. It's not about you. You don't oppress me. I grow my own food. I have a massive family that I raise well. I'm healthy. I speak the truth. My tribe is thriving, and I'm crushing. And the more lies you put on that boob tube lie screen of yours, the more obvious the disparity is between the good, the true, and the beautiful, and the upside down lie to keep your nightclub pumping so people can butt fuck. All right. P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864, unauthorized.tv. Hey, well, we got to take it down. You're too shocking and offensive. No, you can't compete with me, bitch. Joe Rogan would have less viewers than me if you didn't keep kicking me off every platform. And I know it. Joe knows it. He knows he's short and gay and dumb. You know, the reason they do it is because they couldn't compete. You know, The Onion just did this hilarious thing. I just posted it on Instagram. Oh, yeah, we'll kick you off Instagram then. Keep it up, dude. That oppression, conversion by force doesn't fucking work. It has the opposite effect. The Onion says, IDF soldier recounts harrowing heroic war story of killing an 8-month-old child. And then StopAntisemitism.org says, work for The Onion and know who tweeted this? DM us for a prize. You can stay anonymous. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Oh, DM us. You could win a prize. What do you get, a lollipop? They'll probably send you a lollipop and still get you fired because you're a snitch. It's over for the system. Don't root for it to collapse. I want, if God willing, we have another child. I want to have a place where we can because Amy requires C-sections. I don't want the fucking system to collapse. But understand it just is. It's a spinning dreidel that's wobbling. And no, Jews are not doing it to you. You took the deal. You went to a nightclub and spent $40 for a fucking shot of vodka because you wanted pussy. Don't blame the nightclub manager or the promoter. You clicked yes on their fucking pornos with your dick in your hand so you can make a little cum coin. And now that you have buyer's remorse because you didn't make a family for yourself, it's not the Jews' fault. All right. Unauthorized.tv, BeartariaTimes.com, UnbearablesMedia.com. You can donate to all these places, by the way. Unbearables Media, that'll help us make this new documentary. Beartaria Times, every donation helps. Beartaria Times app, definitely get that app. Definitely get it and subscribe. It's really, really helpful. And at Owen Benjamin on BitChute, Gab, Telegram, everywhere you see me. Be fruitful,